Well, here we are, talking about dreams.
Yeah, great.
What kind of dreams we're talking about, figuring out the meaning of the dreams that we have. Everyone dreams.
Okay.
Even dogs dream. And you've no idea, we have no idea really, until we delve into it, how much information about ourselves that our dreams are giving us.
So is it the dream is ourselves talking to ourselves?
Absolutely. And it's ourselves talking to our greater selves. Because some scientists say we've only 10% of the brain is used, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, possibly the other 90% is the part that is inhabited by the dreams. When we go to sleep at night, our subconscious gets switched on and proceeds to guide us and help us on our journey here. Yeah. So, everything in the dream is you. That's very important.
Right.
It's showing one's state of mind. When you have a dream, you go, right, this is my state of mind. Everything in the dream is me and aspects of me that are telling me something. Even inanimate objects.
For example?
A table. Why are you there? You can ask questions from of the dream. What are you? You could pretend you're an alien who doesn't know anything, and because the dream, the subconscious doesn't actually speak in language. It only speaks in images. So it has to find an image that goes with the word that it's trying to tell you. For instance, if it's trying to tell you you're being bamboozled, it will show you bamboo. Because that sounds like bamboo, that's what they get.
So it's like a word play?
Yes, in a way. And so you would ask the table, what are you? Well, I'm a table is no use. Well, what are you? Is it what do you do? What do you function? Why are you here? And the table might say, well, I take up a position in a room or something, and I'm there for you to utilize and lay out, eat from, and I'm a platform for other areas of your life. So that would be an example.
So how would the context of a table in your life have a bearing?
You would ask, why are you here? You could ask the table. You might get answers because it depends on location is very important. Where is it? Are you in a room? If it's in a house, the house is one's self, by the way, and various places in the house. If it's the kitchen, it's going to tell you about your health, digestive.
The kitchen table.
If it's a kitchen table, but I'm going now into the house itself. If you dream that you're in a house, you look at the state of the house. That's the state of you. Which room are you in? If you're in the bedroom, for instance, it could be referring to the astral plane, or rest, or if it's in the kitchen, it could be referring to your digestive system. There'd be symbols there for that. A drawing room is kind of for relaxation, mainly. They used to call drawing rooms.
The basement?
Oh, if you're in the basement, you get into the bottom of something, or the dream is taking you to the bottom of something. In the dream, and it takes you back. And dreams take you right back to birth to correct some ongoing decision you made about something, or an attitude, whether you like something or not. And if it's not serving you well anymore, the dream will take you right back to your birth, and you could have dreams like you're in an airplane going to land. That's coming in to be born. And then you've got other things like a dream might tell you you're on a train of thought. So you dream about a train. You're going somewhere. And it could be a correct train of thought, but it might not be. It depends on the journey and what happens on the journey and how you feel about it. But you're on a train of thought. And there's one example of someone who, at the end of all the questions that they were asked, they were dreaming about a railway station. And at the end, they were able to say, I'm cold and hard, the railway platform. I'm cold and hard, and everyone walks all over me. So that's the kind of realization she came to as a result of a long questioning of the dream, dialoguing with the dream.
Right, okay. If you dream about, so what's the difference between dreaming about animate objects and inanimate? Or is it just part of the whole general dream landscape that whole?
They are just part of it. They're like settings, like first stage. The way you get the picture, the whole picture of, if you go to the theatre and you look and the stage is empty except for two actors, but generally the other objects that are props are there to give you a bigger, greater picture.
They're like clues and symbols.
Clues, thank you.
Clues and symbols, yeah. If you have repeated dreams.
Oh, they're very important. Yeah, repetitive dreams means there's a particular thing you haven't got past. And it may be, and if it's not serving you well, or if it's preventing you from going on a particular trajectory, your dream will try and tell you over and over and over again. And many people have dreams about being chased by something. And dreamers can be asked or trained to face what it is they're running away from. And there are two examples I've heard of where this woman was being chased constantly in a dream, a repetitive dream, and she'd wake up nightmares, and she finally was able to turn around and face, and it was a man, and he said, I just wanted to know about your femininity. And then there was another person who was being chased by a monster, really terrifying. It was all part of ourselves. And she finally was able to turn around and go, what do you want? I only wanted to say hello. So they are just parts of ourselves that we haven't recognised and have turned into nasty creatures because that's what we fed into them ourselves. And yes, repetitive dreams are getting you past a handicap point in your journey. And they are to be paid attention to. Yeah.
Right. What's the difference between the pleasant dream and the nightmare?
Well, a pleasant dream, the nightmare could be just something that you're ignoring till it becomes, in order to get your attention, it has to turn, as they call it, nightmarish.
Frighten you into...
Could also be your digestive system. So, that thing of eat cheese and you'll have nightmares. It could also be a physiological effect that is producing because it's in the gut. And as we know, a lot of things we feel in our gut. So the dream could be showing you how you feel in your gut. The way we have a gut feeling.
An intuition and feeling.
Well,
yeah.
more of a gut feeling than an intuition. Yeah.
Perhaps they're the same. What about about people who dream of things that do happen?
They're precognitive dreams. Well, yes, because the dream doesn't know time. I mean, the subconscious doesn't know time. It's set in there. And they generally don't give you specific information about something, but people might dream about somebody they know having an accident or something or whatever, but they'll never give it the date and the time and all that kind of thing, because that belonged to us here in the conscious mind. They could only give you pictures or intimations. That's all. And then you've got characters in the dream. For instance, if you've got someone alongside you, that's a healing agent. It could be a friend or somebody you might even know, but they're traveling along in the dream with you.
Mm-hmm.
If guides will appear in our dreams as, say, bus conductors, you're approaching them, you're getting a ticket to get on the bus, hotel receptionists, anyone behind a counter is a guide. And then there's some negative characters are just how we perceived our parental influence. And they have to be examined and dealt with so that we can move on from getting stuck with attitudes. And that's it, really. They're shadow kind of figures that you don't need. If they appear a lot, you don't need them anymore in your life. There might have been a time when you did, but the dream will show you, by showing it as something unpleasant to the person or something. You don't need this.
Excuse me. Why do people have weird dreams about, like, being intimate with people they don't really like, or neighbor, whatever? Like, oh my God.
Yep, that's actually all that means is it's about the qualities of that person, and it means you have to become intimate with the qualities of that person, whatever the qualities they have.
That they
represent. Yeah, and you have to become intimate with them and get to know those qualities, because maybe you don't have them yourself and you may need them.
And the big spiritual dreams that people have from time to time, where they're, having this astonishing experience, floating around, or angels or things like that.
Yeah, people dream of flying, and it means they've reached a level in their dream that's beyond the more mundane, day-to-day things, which normally the subconscious is busy trying to sort that out. And every now and again, you can take off and.
But do you think, like, deities or angels or gods and goddesses, intervene in people's dreams? Historically, there's been great things that have happened over so-and-so had a dream, and, is it all oneself, or is there times in exception where, people have this amazing experience?
Yeah, we're dealing mainly with interpreting the comings and goings of our life here on a day-to-day basis, and how we negotiate our life. And dreams are giving you a roadmap. Just don't do this anymore. Go here, go there, take this path. Really, they're just guiding you. And perhaps you don't need much guidance when you have found Jacob's ladder to a greater sphere of
Awareness.
Activity and awareness.
Yeah.
And now and again, of course, depends.
But people have had dreams where, they've been warned about something as well. Sort of.
Yeah, people can be, yeah, well, a lot of well, people who have dreams about being warned about things, as I said, you're never going to get a date and a time or specific. You can't just say, someone in an airplane is whatever, or this plane's going to crash. You're never going to be told
But
anything.
some people have dreamed about, moving to a place, and then 3 years later they move to the place and they go, I had a dream about this.
Because there is no time in the subconscious. It's all now. So, that can.
Yeah. It's so, but at the end of the day, what is the reason for all the dreaming? Is it to heal yourself, fix yourself, or is it just to what?
It's in contact with your greater self. Who you're part of it. It's here. You are here. It's here with you. But with an overview of your life, and you have to. You have specific paths and challenges to go from A to B, from birth to death, and how you will negotiate it and transmute whatever occurrences along the way, that good or bad, that you experience. And the dreams are there to help you mainly explaining how you are viewing everything.
Right.
They're not explaining anything else because it's only to do with you. The dream is you. And saying, here we are. And, dreaming about if you're in a house. The house is the self, for instance. People might say, I dreamt about this house. That's the self.
Right. So it's all very symbolic. So something ordinary can really mean a huge amount to your subconscious mind.
That's right. If you dream about the stairs, that's the male aspect. That's the father. Because the spine is the stairs. The father, and there's so much. Areas in the house, dream about a corridor, it could be representing the birth canal, bringing you back to that point. Yeah.
Right. It's very interesting anyway, the whole thing. It's a whole world, I suppose. If a person was to learn more about this, have take note of their dreams and actually start working with their dreams, being more aware of them in terms of their waking life, would you say that it would actually help them?
Yeah, then you become a more, what they call, conscious human, because you become more and more aware, as you said, and conscious of what you're doing and what your motivations are, because you've been watching, you've been paying attention to your teacher, which is your dream.
Right. So it goes back to people who are conscious and subconscious of their...
And that's why, when people who are unconscious, because there are many people who are unconscious of what they're doing, and they might do something or say something that doesn't make sense to you, or you're realizing, do they realize what they're doing or saying?
Yeah.
Are they stupid? No, they're unconscious because they haven't delved into the deeper self.
It's all really interesting, but I suppose it's a lifelong thing. So
it is.
You and the more you look into it, then you have more dreams. Your subconscious knows you're knowing more about it, and then it gathers its own
gives you more
momentum.
Dreams. Yes.
Yeah. So it becomes a journey.
It's like saying hello to a friend, and finally the friend is delighted and replies to you and decides to start talking to you.
So you build up a relationship with your subconscious, and that's beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good to keep a diary of your dreams and date them.
And
You
go
look
through.
back and go, oh, I dreamt about that. For instance, you were talking about earlier about people might dream about something that's happening in the future that they're not even aware of yet. They could go back and look at an old dream and go,
Yes.
oh, I dreamt about that.
Or they could start to see patterns.
Yes.
Or something, one thing that keeps turning up in their dreams.
Yes.
Oh, look, there's that again. And now it's stopped. What does that mean?
That means it's not needed anymore in your life, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It could have been tripping you up or not necessarily serving you in any way anymore. It might have at one time, and it doesn't now.
Yeah, it's very.
I mean, dreaming about a death is often that because it just means you're passing from one thing. For instance, an adult is not going to ask for a toy for Christmas and be excited about it because they're an adult now. That's in their past. You could call those deaths, really, because they're just passings.
Okay, so that's great. It's really interesting. So, but it seems like it's not something that you can just synopsize really quickly. It's like
No.
it's a lifelong personal journey of learning all of this. So listen, will we leave it there?
Oh yes, that's fine.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It's a real good nugget to start on.
It's bits, yes.
And it's nearly like one little dream in itself, and then on more unraveling, unpacking, and journeying with the dream landscape.
Lovely way to put it. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Okay. Well done. Thanks a million. Alrighty.